Hello friends, welcome to my channel Tech IT Insights. Today we are going to discuss about the complete REST API services, how and the modern integration architecture point of view, how it works and what are the key important points and interview point of view also nowadays, how they are asking for the REST integration type of questions, and then the architecture point of view, we'll see that. So if you see that, before going to start with the theoretical, the diagram you can represent here. Here the overall REST API, whereas REST API method-based integration here, and then REST API parameters, the component interface level where you keep the REST API parameters. And through REST API, we can access the business objects, business services, accessing the workflows, whereas repository objects, attachment also, we can do the certain get and post, put, delete kind of operation, the REST HTTP methods. Now coming to the, not only the object-based, whereas inbuilt such a mechanism, Siebel REST API product and phrasing with the objects here stored with the SW products. And you can see a REST API telecom point of view, where this will apply the business service can access in the example of the order management, PDS, order, and SW product, self-services, and telecom object point of view. And now coming to the point here, Siebel REST API outbound services, whereas is similar to, as I explained in the previous video, similar to normal outbound web services, but to come to the JSON format, XML for XML. And it REST API, is support methods are get, post, delete, which means that this is already explained in the, when it comes to the resource point of view and repository access, whereas business service, workflow, business service, and specifications also will be there. And here. Now coming to the REST API, the URL will start with, suppose example of the REST API. You can see in online, the postman, you can see here. Whereas here, we put methods, REST API basic, get, post, upset, and delete. If you see here, basic authentication, these are the auth type, whereas REST mechanism, whether you want to go for the token-based authentication, auth 1.0, this is the REST API versions 1.0, 2.0 version. Basic authentication, where we have to give the minimum username as password. Test test 1, 2, 3. So basically, it will be a like same like of services where how you are represent here. The method, if you give that get, post, put, and delete, and come to here, there is service URL. This is service port and Siebel V1 is version and the services it will start. As I told you, the Siebel will start. If a business object, it will be a data. If it is a business service, it will be a service. If it is a repository name, it will be a workspace. If it is a workflow, then workflow will be start with workflow. Basically, it will here, from here, it will start the how you are presenting here. Now coming to the body header, based on the form of the XML, how you are encoding is the way, but put how the sample XML will be there. As I given in the description link, you can go through the few documents, the REST API related documents. Now coming to the here, very important point here. Today in REST API, the interview point of questions they're asking, and if you see your workspace about the REST API parameters are very important. When constructing the URL, there are 3 parameters which should be determined as here. Now, the component parameter start number field search space we want to get with this URL based, we can above is the URL. When you come to the get Siebel services, whereas you want to get the based on specific number of records, you want to page size parameter, with that you can get the records here. Now based on the view modes, we want to set the person, sales rep kind of records. With the REST API link only, we can fetched it here. Suppose if you see here, the example has given data account suspect. The location is called name. So if you give the URL only, the filter out which of the object you want to access based on the method, it will fetch records from the our connecting to the system. Execute method, whereas similar to service name, where you have to specify the phase size and start now, and execute mode forward only. You can specify in the URL itself, the records will get filtered out. So very important here method, execute empty field response. Here, suppose you want empty field, you should not get the, if suppose tag is there, when you are fetching the query, you should filter out the records. I don't want to see the empty field response, the fields which are empty fields. Then the tags will be filtered out, and by using this empty field response equal to true. For example, if you specify this business object, suppose in access to the business object license, in this view sales rep, we can see specify here that you will get the records of the business object account level records. Now coming to the workspace also, by using this URL, we can get the applet repository applet name. Now the few more important point of view, whereas to be a REST proxy object manager, how it will be important, they will ask some questions here. And if you see the application interfaces level, where component inbound parameters we are going to configure, and the object name will be a EA object manager, and the REST response URL will be configured here in the component level parameters. And this, as I told you in the previous link also, his HTTP web is similar to Siebel operations. A get is query, and post is insert, and put is upset, and delete is delete operation will perform. These are the main. And coming to the REST inbound authentication parameters, allows inbound response, REST equals anonymous username. You can specify this parameter, and anonymous user password has to be taken care. And authentication type. What type of authentication? Is the basic authentication, single sign authentication, or authentication? The based on here, you have to specify your authentication here. Now, accessing the in terms of accessing the business object by using just an example, we can perform like in a query the Siebel operation business object, as I told you, the business component level, suspect parameters based on the, you can insert the record in the business component level, accessing the directly Siebel object in the REST API. Now, remove the empty field using the exclude empty field response, which I told here. Now, URL will be there, say, and you can specify the response level. It will reduce the response body size, because of what is the benefit for this proper when you using this empty field response. It is reduce the response, empty field response, and reduce the response body size. By default, if you don't not specify both empty non-empty fold, it will be written right, so that we can use this filterization where empty fields should not become, then it is easy. So now the query records execute mode parameters. So if you can see that, for example, you want to fast performance, you want to get the records by using forward only. As I told you, the record will go for a very fast manner. You should specify that forward only. And another query mode, whereas if you want to get the records, which is, and for example, you want to business object to subset of fields, you want to get query, and you can specify the fields and names, and the specific one, you can get it here. And that's it. Now, we can see the existing Siebel object, how it will be accessed. In start with the Siebel objects, whereas Siebel, if you want to perform Siebel account, object where you can start with the Siebel account. Here, it's very important based on the class and the user properties are will be performed like an application service interfaces and the object internal integration object. Whereas if you go here internal integration object, it has, suppose you want to perform Siebel object, Siebel account, if you perform them based on method, and now coming to the here, go to the integration object, and you can see the how account, which is account related to address. You want to perform the operation, you can use it address based, and you can see the which is sale business component and IO level operation we can also it will perform. And now, as I said, you if you SWA order based, you want to integrate like if we see as I said here at SWT telecom object, you want to perform the operation with this, it will support here, start with the SWTA. You can see here and business object and SWT account hierarchy, and these are the object which is performed here. And if you go here, Siebel, it will support this attachment as well, product and the REST outbound services. So here the class will start with the REST class. Is the object which is class will start with the REST, that those are the object which is REST outbound services. Now, these are the very important key role of the REST API overall complete architecture, how the services will support. As I told you, it's a key improvement of the REST API and clarity and accuracy, structure basis, specification. So it's a modern integration. It's a very fast manner to getting the REST API methods and information organized to section wise, better reliability and specifications. We can see that. So these are the overall REST API and some of the points which I discussed. The interview point of view, it's very important. They are asking the some of the interview REST API questions. These are the overall REST API architecture and complete REST API topics. So thank you. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you for your support.